come up with what your domain looks like. Because you see, when you're not on a hunt, you just sort of float in some metaphysical space that is basically your definition of reality. So a character who was a romantic poet might have like his writing desk floating in a void with a little light over it that he just writes at. You know, and then the poems kind of drift off into the void or some shit like that. You know?
So sounds like some drug-related place.
I would say this is a very, very psychedelic horror, psychological horror game. You are encouraged to be extravagant when you describe things. If you have, for example, the rend ability, which is a distance attack, they point out that don't just make it a beam or something, shoot chains from your eyeballs or something cool. B14, it's 1994, Vampire just came out.
So the servitors that we spawn.
Well, those are you summon them.
Yeah, you summon them. I can make them be as my character sees them. So they have some description, but as I have described my character, I can have some of them appear as soldiers or something like that.
You could, yes. I think that's true. Yes.
Yeah. So I can just make them. This is how they look. Okay. Then I know how to describe them.
Exactly. This game was one of the first games to encourage this kind of customization during play. Not the first, but one of them. So when and where did your character come from?
Mid 14th century Indonesia.
Okay.
From the Majapahit Empire.
Excellent. Okay. And so then you have compassion, curious, impulsive, yeah. And then you have serene and meditative. I like that. And aesthetically inclined. You like pretty, you know, or pleasing things.
He does not like working in Soviet Russia.
Right. Yeah, the boring, crude places.
Yeah, rural Afghanistan. Those
so what name are you going to take? And how about where your character is from?
1864, captain of Confederate.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I'm from Alabama.
What are your
compassion, anger, rage, well-mannered, wants to lead. I want to lead, and PTSD.
Right.
The gray coat.
What is the gray coat? Yes.
Yeah, it felt just right.
Yeah. Like in last key and name, but so far compassion, of course, comfort, superiority, and dependence.
What is the place and time you come from?
And the place and time I'm thinking around in the Byzantines, around there after the splits.
So for 500, 600?
Well,
600 roundish.
I was going to say it's a pretty long period.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
600ish.
Okay. Yeah, pretty good idea.
Yeah, I don't know myself too well of those dates. So
that's okay. It's the Europeans like to pretend that didn't happen, so we don't learn very much about it, unfortunately.
The Byzantine is the more fun one.
I know. I completely agree.
Justinian is just so fun.
I completely agree. But as it turns out, we in that case, but taking your keys, it sounds as though you're coming from kind of an elitist or privileged or kind of thing. Maybe
married into, so say.
Well, why don't you pick like a memory?
So I was thinking of that as a last one.
What name did you pick?
Shriyana.
Okay, great. And how about you?
Mine is from 329 BC.
Yes,
kind of.
Roughly.
He was a general. He has compassion, rage, well-being, hunger, and one left.
Okay. Maybe again an event or a memory is a good way to go.
Exactly. And his name is Senaros.
Senaros.
Something weird.
Yes. Okay. So we are almost done, and those of you who are not quite done, come up with one or two last little things that is needed.
I'm sorry, we were
How would you
Yes,
describe,
I think
how would you easily to say write down a memory, just short?
The birth of my child, the death of my, the
Friend.
moment of when I was torn apart and died,
Yeah.
when my friend praised me.
That's why I wrote
Anything like
PTSD,
that.
because I can have every memory, but they are fucking me up.
That's right. And also, you did pick a focus skill. which
Yes,
is
leadership.
leadership.
I am
yours?
captain.
Yeah.
Focus skill, smooth talk.
And you?
I think it's something that easier to find. I'm trying to formulate what I will write
Okay.
up.
And how about you? Politics.
Yeah, politics.
Excellent. Okay. Oh, yes. So we have that. There are a few easy things to do to begin the hunt that will kind of show you a little bit about resolution at first, and then they're not really considered to be major play because we're just getting through them. The first beginning of the hunt is when a mortal who has some kind of sensitivity to essence, they may not know it or understand it, or they may be occultists or something, but they are suffering and in trouble, and they have sent out a call, which, unlike most mortals' calls of agony and despair, do penetrate into the realm of essence. And so, and it is due to some kind of enigma that is occurring. And the most common cause of an enigma is an unbidden. So the stalkers, you are the ones who have responded to this call. And the realm of essence, of course, is inconceivable. But on the edge of the inconceivable, whatever that looks like, you come to the place where you will present yourselves as stalkers in order to cross into the flesh. Symbolically speaking, because this is kind of not done, something is officially going to try to stop you, and you will have to overcome it. This is really pro forma, but it's to get you in the right mode and to teach you a little bit about the dice. What you see is a ziggurat, the stepped pyramid, but unlike just the simple four-sided, this one has sections. So flat areas and then more ziggurat.
Aztec.
And so, pardon?
Aztecs.
It has elements of Aztec, except that its size is immense. You cannot see all of it or get an idea of its full extent from where you are. And the angles that it takes are not always just symmetrical. The Aztecs were really into symmetrical things.
Yeah.
This MC Escher played with this one. Okay, so that's if you were imagining now this enormous, multi-layered, sectional ziggurat, but it is conscious, and it is a structure which is opposing you, and indeed, although it has no face, because I don't want any Zardoz tricks, there is no face, but it will, in a grinding way that you understand in the back of your head, says, here is where no one goes here. So you must present yourself as stalkers and choose some kind of an ability to manifest and see how well you do, and thereby learn how to read the dice. So each of you tell me what you do.
Are we together?
Yes.
Yes. So we are in a group. Okay.
This is perhaps sort of a Mortal Kombat-y thing where each of you sort of enters and appears, and we now know that you are a member of the band. Sort of think of bad 80s rock and roll as the different band members come out with all the dry ice kind of thing.
This is the taberna.
Something like that.
So we are picking from this, or
These, you may use these if you want to. To use a servitor, you will use your evoke skill.
Alright.
To use these are different things that may not quite apply. These are various personal abilities you have, but I would look at your skills. Any skill that you feel you could use to manifest your authority as a stalker.
in this realm, can we manifest objects like making a sword appear in my hand?
Sure.
Then I step forward and say, my good structure, and I manifest a sword, and I flourish it as I have done so many times, and I say, give me a combat, and I shall prove my worth.
So this is conjure, correct?
Yes.
So where it says conjure, does it say what you need to roll? It should be clear in the description. Oh, you only have savage.
No, I mean like I want to use. I would not. Okay, so I can conjure a weapon if I want to, but that is a skill.
Right. That's not quite what I meant.
No, I was
what
thinking
you are-
about just
right.
having.
What you are basically doing is you are being intimidating.
Yeah.
So you use intimidate.
Yeah.
Now, what if you look at intimidate? It tells you what. Oh shoot! Don't tell me it doesn't tell you. Yes, it's under presence, correct?
Yes.
See presence. Okay. Go to presence, where you have a number. Right. Which is how many? 4. 4. So you take 4 dice.
Yeah.
And you will roll them, and I will show you how to read them, because it's a different way to read than usual. Okay? So, here's the thing. You will take, if you have matches, then you find your highest value of matches and add them together, which is 8.
Yeah.
If you had no matches, you would just take the highest.
Highest one, yep.
Right. Or if the highest value is higher than the sum, whatever is higher. Okay? You cannot add those to them.
No, I just wondered if I would have 3 4s.
Then it would be a 12.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
And furthermore, add 2 for your intimidate.
So
you have a 10.
A 10.
And
What if you have 2 1s and 1 3? You still use the 2 1s?
no, you take the
Yeah.
take the value that is most advantageous to you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I have 10.
And I would like to get the results from everybody. Yes.
All right. You know what? This one sounds fun. I haven't. Yeah, let's. What did he say? He wanted us to.
Well,
Yeah,
it is not particularly bright.
We
It just
cannot
basically
pass.
says don't go away.
All right. Well,
This is it.
I'm going to summon a dread worm to have him reconsider his proposal.
Use evoke.
Yeah.
So how many dice?
5.
No,
Evoke.
presence skills. Presence is 7.
Aha, so it's 7 dice for you.
Oh,
and then you
yeah,
get
that's
plus,
the number
and then you
of dice.
get plus 5.
Oh, okay,
On
alright.
top
So
of it.
you are obviously a ridiculous evoker, right?
Oh, all right.
I should have a willpower.
So let's see. Oh,
So you get a.
you know, this would be a good thing if I were playing some other game.
That's
but-
right. But no, you
6.
you get a 6, and then you
That's
add
it.
5 to
Yeah,
it.
that's
11.
11.
It's still more than me.
Yes.
Yeah.
How about you?
I'm thinking about something like oh, this is difficult. Basically, I think I will have use my willpower to mask myself as someone that looks like they don't want to hurt me. You know.
Oh, I see.
You know what I think? Like if someone goes to wants to go to battle with me, I make them use my willpower. Like,
Oh, I
you don't
see.
want
You're
to-
okay.
you don't
So
want to
this
hurt
is
me.
actually charm.
That's charm.
Yes. So.
But I'm thinking like masking myself. That's
To mask yourself is a way to fit in with the flesh, and you are not.
is
That's for example, if you want to do something very dramatic and nasty, but magical, but you want to not hurt reality. You want to make sure that it seems normal to everybody, even if it's crazy. Then you would use mask. But you perhaps could do that to demonstrate that you are willing to go to the flesh and not violate the forbiddens. So okay, that's good. Go ahead and use that. So how many dice for your presence?
presence is 5.
Okay, so 5 dice, and then add the 2 for the final result. That is.
2, so that's
Yes.
mask.
Aha. So 15.
Ah.
Yeah.
15.
15 plus 2.
That's
17.
17.
Yes.
So then you write it down.
No, at the moment I know that we have a
10,
10,
11.
11, and 17. How about you?
Can you ignore the cigarette and just press on?
Say that again?
Can I ignore the cigarette and just continue walking? Because basically the cigarette is saying no.
And you just go.
Yes.
Okay, but what then would that represent as your skill?
Basically willpower, almost.
Yeah, I don't know, I guess. Is that stealth thing?
No, that's kind of an interesting idea. Well, in this particular case, the issue here is that you basically must manifest and announce yourself as legitimately going.
Okay.
You are, for lack of a better word, committing to this for the purpose of saving reality, not violating it. How are you going to express that?
Can I repair something?
In the sense of,
I don't really know how I should.
well, maybe you should think about your, okay. Mending, first of all,
Yeah.
is mending the enigma, right? Mending
Okay.
the brokenness of reality. If you showed, for example, your knowledge of mending rituals, and you
Okay.
demonstrate that this is what you want to do when you get there,
Okay.
that would count.
Okay.
Right? You're saying, look, I will not violate the forbiddance. I can be what I need to be, when I am there. And you are there, no, I am here to fight for, to fight whatever is violating and hurting people. And yours was to call up the
Call up, so to say,
servitors.
the servants to show that I am going to be able to handle the
Right.
challenges forward.
Right, and see, so then you say, and the enigma
Okay.
can be mended by me.
Thank you for the handholding. I didn't want to go
Yeah.
to fighting.
No,
mode,
no,
so
that's
I was
good.
like,
No, I get it.
How do I
It's
not
totally fine.
fight it?
And you're also using your
Yeah.
insane awareness too, so I get that part. So nothing wrong with that.
Insane
Okay.
awareness.
He has 8. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's like
But then, but
So
he's-
something's
but
bound
he
to be a double.
right, yeah. He's not so good at everything else.
Come on. Yahtzee!
Yeah, exactly. And it is interesting. You get an 8, right?
Yeah.
And so then 8 plus 3 is 11.
11.
Okay, so the 10 is the cutoff for doing something competent.
Oh, shoot.
Right? Now, to overcome the guardian, which is a little harder, someone had to get a 15 or higher. And you did. So, therefore,
you.
all of you are successfully demonstrated and you tip the balance and all of you are able to cross into the